Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am in the kitchen and we are going to be taking all of these vegetables and putting them in the freezer, and I'm going to show you guys how we do that and how we keep all of these fruits and vegetables good. They will stay good for well over a year, and they still taste good too. So let's get started. So with the tomatoes, all we do is just cut them into pieces, just into quarters or halves, depending on the size. That's what we do with the little ones, and then we just put them on cookie sheets, spread them out, and then put them in the freezer. And we let them freeze, so we'll leave them in there overnight, and they will freeze all the way. And then the next morning we can come back and put them into freezer bags, and then they won't be stuck together. Then you'll be able to take like a handful out or however many you need, and we'll be able to use these in like chili or soups or whatever you want to use them for. Alright, we got them all cut up and put onto a cookie sheet. As you can see, they're a little close together, but they'll be alright. They after they freeze, we'll be able to take a spatula and just break them up. They'll break up real easily, and then after that, we'll just put them in freezer bags. Now we're moving on to the big tomatoes, and all we're going to do with them is cut them. Well, we'll take the top out, and then we will just cut them in half and lay them out on a cookie sheet, and then freeze them. And then what we can do is make them into tomato puree or juice, and the skin will come right off after you take them out of the freezer, and we'll make it into like tomato juice or whatever for just chili or spaghetti or whatever. So that's what we're going to do now. Alright, now I'm going to work on the squash and zucchini. Alright, all we do with the squash and zucchini is take it and shred it, and then we'll put it into freezer bags and make zucchini bread or squash bread out of it, and it tastes really good. You can also take and bread the squash or zucchini like you're going to fry it and then freeze it, but I'll talk more about that later. We're going to do that with some of the okra, and I'll show you guys that. Alright, this is what it looks like when it's all shredded. Alright, I got the squash and zucchini shredded up. It wasn't quite a full bag, but that's alright. So now, I'm going to put it down here in the freezer. And this small chest freezer we filled completely up this year with things from our garden. This is more zucchini that's shredded. We've got some okra in here. More squash over here. We'll be able to turn these squash into chips actually, and I will show you guys how we do that now. What we do is we have a dehydrator over here. We got one from my grandma, and then we've got ours sitting here. All we do is put the squash and zucchini on these trays. We cut it thin like it was over there in that bag, and then you can put it on there fresh, or if, well, the reason we froze that over there is because we had both of these full and didn't want that to go bad, so we just froze it. And you put it, you can fill those up with squash and zucchini, and then we let them dry for like 24 or 48 hours. And coming over here, this is what they turn into, just little chips pretty much. Here you can see it better, but they're crunchy, and you can season them however you want. We put just salt and pepper on some, we ranch seasoning some, and then we've got some barbecue seasoning that we do as well. And we've got quite a few jars of those, so they're good, and we like eating those. Dad likes eating them on his salads and stuff too, and it works really well. And that's something that's really easy to do with them. It doesn't take that long at all, so that's a good way to do it. And then the other main way that we do it is shredding it and put it in the freezer like you just saw me do. But now I think I'm going to move on to the okra. Alright, I got everything set up. We got all the okra cut, and all we're doing here is breading our okra like we're going to fry it in oil, and we're just breading it in water and then into cornmeal. The reason we're using water and not egg is because Luke is allergic to eggs, and so we just put it in water. You can't really taste the difference, I don't think, so that's why we do that. And then we do cornmeal as the breading because he's allergic to soy as well, so he can have cornmeal, so we just do it in this. And all you do for this, it's really simple. Like I was saying, you just bread it however you want. Then you just lay it out on a cookie sheet, put it in the freezer for overnight, just like you did the tomatoes. And the next morning you can come back and bag it up into freezer bags. And then you keep it frozen. And what you do when you're ready to fry it is you take your oil and you get it really hot. It's got to be hot or it won't work. And then you leave the okra in the freezer. And you go to the freezer, get the bag out, and put the okra straight from the freezer into your frying pan. And as soon as you are done putting it in the oil, you want to put what you didn't put in the oil back in the freezer so that it doesn't thaw out, because if it thaws out, it gets all mushy and it goes bad. So you cannot leave it sitting out. It has to go from the freezer right to the oil and then back to the freezer. And as soon as you put it in the oil, it starts cooking immediately. Then it tastes just like it was fresh pretty much. You can't taste it. I mean, you can taste the difference a little bit, but it's not much at all. So it makes cooking a lot simpler because you don't have to worry about breading the okra and then cooking it as well on the same day. You can bread this and then at any time come back and cook it. So that's nice. It makes dinner easier, cooking easier. So that's why we do it this way, and it works really well. Alright, we finished the okra. I figured I'd just demonstrate this a little bit better. So here's a bag of okra that has already been breaded. For example, I would take it out of the freezer here. I would already have my oil in the pan, nice and hot. And then I just take a handful or fill the pan up with okra, let it cook, and then you want to get this right back into the freezer because you're not going to put this whole bag into that little pan. So if you use a bigger pan or whatever, then maybe you won't have that problem. But you don't want to have this out for, I mean, I'd say no more than 5 minutes at the most, because it starts to thaw out really quick. So that's how we do it. Alright, I think that's going to wrap this video up, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and I will try and get back to you there. And if I can't, I'll make maybe I'll make a separate short video talking about it if there's anything that I missed or whatever. But let me know if there's any other way that you guys preserve your guys' food from the garden, or how you guys would do that. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed, and have a good one.